Good morning and welcome back to the class. We are
Good
at
morning.
the last portion of our chapter on linear equations in two variables, where today we are going to take up equations reducible to the form of linear equation in two variables. So we had started this yesterday. Somehow we could not continue because of shortage of time. So I'm getting back to it once again. So these are special kind of equations where the variables are existing in the denominator. So there is something that you have to do to convert them into normal set of linear equations in two variables. We just began with how these can be converted and we had to stop abruptly yesterday. So I'm going to continue from there. Now today I am intending actually to complete the linear equations reducible to the normal form plus the equations which are to be framed on situations. That means some word problems also I want to complete. In case I am not able to do both of these in this present time available today, I shall again share the videos because it is me who is again doing those portions. All right, so you can go through the videos and complete your notes accordingly. And in case there are some issues where you are not able to follow certain things from the videos that I'm going to share, because it is me who has done the videos. Only thing it has been done last year, and I'm just utilizing those videos for you. In case there is something which is bothering you, you can always come back to me on Wednesday, because Tuesday we are going for the test on polynomials and linear equation in two variables. So complete the test, and if there is anything which is not very clear to you in the chapter, you can always come back to me on Wednesday. So you have plenty of work to be taken up this weekend. Tomorrow's class will be a practical class, all right, where we have to complete the linear equations in two variables with respect to those who have not completed it. If you have already completed, just see that your name is marked in a tick and then you are assessed for it. Tomorrow, maybe I may join or sir would do it. I will try to join definitely. Because tomorrow's class is a practical class, we will directly meet for the test on Tuesday. Is that clear? So I think I will start with the screen share. I hope you're seeing my screen. Just pin my
Yes.
screen so that there is no interruption in between. So I'm muting from here and I'm playing the video. It may be a small repetition of what was done yesterday, and then we shall continue. The first equation is 1 by 2x plus 1 by 3y. Please keep your audio muted. And the second equation is 1 by 3x plus 1 by 2y equals 13 by 6. So can you look at the equations and get the feel that they are not like our ordinary equations we have seen so far, because how are they different? Look at the equations and tell me how are they different from the ones we have done so far.
Mom, the variable is in denominator.
Yes, very good. See, that is the main observation. The variable, both the x and y are in the denominator. So we can't take them directly as equations and solve. So there are certain things that we have to do so that this given equation is reduced to equations in two variables, and then we can apply one of the methods, either the substitution method or the elimination method, to see that we solve the equations. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rearrange this equation so that it becomes equations in two variables. Now also it is an equation in two variables. Only thing is the variable is in the denominator. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an assumption. Let 1 by x be taken as some variable u and my 1 by b be taken as some other variable b. So when I apply this assumption into my equations, how will my equation change? My equation 1 by x, in the place of 1 by x, I must put u. So my first equation will become half or 1 by 2 times u plus 1 times v, which is equal to 2. Who is shouting? Please keep your audios muted. Don't disturb others who are attending very sincerely. I request to all of you, please keep your audios muted. Now, applying the same assumption to the second equation, what will I get? In the place of 1 by x, I substitute u, and in the place of 1 by y, I substitute v. So my new equation now will be 1 by 3 times u plus 1 by 2 times v equals 13 by 6. So this is the first thing I have to understand. All latecomers only, keep on admitting till the end of the class. Okay, so these are my new sets of equations. Still I have to bring some changes here. What do you think are the changes? You have to see that I eliminate all the fractions here. So let me take up the equation onto this side and try to solve. I have a denominator 2 and 3, two different denominators. So the cross multiplication is going to help you. So I will get it as 3 times u plus 2 times v all divided by 6. 6 will be my common denominator because I cross multiply. That will be equal to 2. Or in other words, 3u plus 2 times v will be, again you are cross multiplying 6 to the other side. That is, you transpose 6 to the other side, it becomes 12. So my first equation will be of the form 3u plus 2v equals 12. So this I will mark as my first equation. See what happened to my equation? It was like this: 1 by 2x. Shobita, it is from your microphone that I am getting the noise. 1 by 2x plus 1 by 3y equals 2 has reduced like this. Alright. Same way now let me deal with the second equation. So here again I cross multiply. I must get 2u plus 3 times v all divided by 6 has become 13 by 6. Correct? Now the denominators are the same, so you can eliminate them. If you cross multiply, all the 6 will go to both sides and you can eliminate them. So my new equation will be 2 times u plus 3 times v equals 13. So this is your second equation. Now you can go and use any of the methods, that is the elimination method or the substitution method to solve the equations. So start solving. Let me see. We have done lots of things. Which method do you think you can use very easily here? The substitution or the elimination? Anyone? Which you
Elimination.
you see elimination. So convert this 2 and 3 to some common
Substitution.
Yeah, maybe you can multiply this with 2 and equation 2 with 3. So 3 into 2 will become 6. Here 2 into 3 will become 6. And hence you can eliminate u. If you think the substitution is easier for you, you can go ahead. I have no problems. So we will start solving the equation quickly now. See, till this only I have to help you because these equations were not in the normal form. So we have made some assumptions. We have got beautiful equations like this. Now further you just have to go and solve them. So I am using the elimination method. So multiply equation 1 with 2 and equation 3 with equation 2 with 3. So you will get 6u plus 4v equals 24. Right? I multiplied everything with 2. Here I am multiplying with 3. So 6u plus 9v equals 39. So this is how it has changed. So what will be your u and v? We have to find out. So here I subtract. What should you do? Subtract. If I call this equation 3 and equation 4, subtract equation 4 from 3. Right? You are subtracting equation 4 from 3. So what happened? This symbols will change. Please be very careful when you change the symbol. So this is gone. You have positive 4, negative 9. So you have a negative 5v equals a negative 39 and a positive 24. So that will be a negative 15. Correct? So we have v equals 3. That is negative 15 by negative 5. So which will make v equals 3. So once you get v, what should you do? You should go back and get the u. So substituting in any of the equations, either 1 or 2. So substituting v equals 3 in equation 1. So I'm going to equation 1, that is 3 times u plus 2 times v is taken as 3 is equal to 12. So I have substituted the value of v equals 3 in equation 1. So I have 3u plus 6 equals 12. That means 3u equals 12 minus 6, which will be 6, or u will be 6 by 3, which will be equal to 2. So your u has become 2. Should I stop my process here? Will I say yes, I have done the problem? No, I have not got the values of x and y yet. My equation was with x and y. You understand, see? My equation was with x and y. What I got was v and u. So I have to go back and substitute the values here. So I'm doing it here. So I got my v as 1 by 3. I know my 1 by x is u. So substituting back u and v. What did I get? I got my 1 by x is equal to, in the place of u, you are going to put 2. And 1 by y equals your v, which is 3. That means what? When you take the reciprocal, x will become half and your y will become 1 by 3. So this is your solution. X is equal to half and y is equal to 1 by 3. You understand? So this is how you take up the equation, make an assumption to bring the variables to the numerator, use any of the methods to solve to get the second set of variables that you have assumed. Once you got your u and v, go back and substitute in the original way, that is 1 by x is u and 1 by y is v, and get the values of x and y. Finally, what you have to report is the x and y, not u and v. So any doubts you can ask me, otherwise we will take up a few more problems and try to solve them. So only this we are learning today, how to reduce a given linear equation in two variables so that we are in a position to use either the substitution method or the elimination method to complete the problem. So this is eligible for a section C. Usually it comes in section C. So very easy to score. Once you get the equation in u and v, then solving them and getting back to x and y should not be a problem. So shall we move on to the next problem?
Hello, ma'am.
Is this? Amrita.
Yeah, ma'am. This phone is not well, so I left in between. Sorry.
Don't keep texting to me again on the WhatsApp when I am in the class. Instead of concentrating on you people, I am texting back to people. Prajwal, I say call. So you are still in the meet, is it not? Then what is the problem? Try to rectify your net issues. Don't keep disturbing others, because there are other people who are very sincerely into the meet and they want to listen to the class. And we are always in and out, doing only in and out. Better you stay out only. There's no need to come in at all, disturbing others. Now I stop the share because that video has got two more problems which I have shown how you can reduce it to a linear equation in two variables. Anyway, I will share that link also. If you want, you can go through and complete those two problems also. Or if you are able to do the exercise on your own, well and good. You can complete it on your own. If you require the guidance, definitely it is there in the form of the recorded video. I stopped the video because the second portion where you have to deal with the real life problems, that is a very, very important thing that you have to learn in the chapter. You should know how to create or frame the linear equation for a situation where the equations that you're going to get is not going to be ordinary equations. It will come as the variables will be in the denominator. So already you know how to convert the equation to a linear equation in two variables. Now, learning one step further, that is, you frame the equations so that you get the variables in the denominator. Then you use the method you just learned now to convert them into ordinary equations and hence find the solution to get the answer. Now, there are two varieties of questions in this linear equation reducible to the normal forms. That is, one is a very, very popular question, which is the upstream and downstream question. Very popular because every year it is asked in the board exam. There is no doubt that this year also it is going to come. So that's why I am emphasizing so much on this. It is a sure, short question, no doubt at all. So I will now play the second video where I have tried to discuss how to frame the equation for this situation where there is an upstream downstream question. Now, what is upstream downstream? How do I assume the variables is what I'm going to do it in detail. Here also I have discussed three problems. Let me come to the screen share. I'm talking about the problems in exercise. Yeah, I'll just get back to the textbook. If you have your textbook, please look at it. I'm just trying to share the textbook page only so that I focus your attention there. Now, this is exercise 3.6 that we are looking into. So this is the first half where I think in the first video I have solved the first, second and the fourth problem. So these two problems are recorded already and it is available as the video, which I shall share at the end of the class today in the Google Classroom. Now, moving further, in the same exercise, we have these word problems which I'm talking about. Okay, this is the first problem, the upstream and the downstream problem, which I'm going to discuss. Actually, I'm discussing these two problems and one worked out example in the video. Maybe I can just in another 12 minutes, maybe I can do two problems at least. Then later on the remaining problems, you can view the video and try to understand. That is why I'm telling you, if there is an issue in understanding this, you can always get back to me in the next class. All right. Now I'm going back. Now I'll play the second video where I have first discussed this upstream and downstream problem. So pay attention. Here also you can stop me if you think you have not understood something. All right. So let me go to the screen share.
Ma'am, your sharing is not visible, ma'am.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Somebody already told me it is not visible. Is it not visible?
Ma'am, now it is visible, ma'am.
So I shall play now and mute from here. So let me take the first problem there. I hope you have your textbooks and you're looking into it. Ritu can row downstream 20 kilometers in 2 hours and upstream 4 kilometers in 2 hours. Find her speed of rowing in still water and the speed of the current. So there are so many things to understand here. So you should first understand what is rowing and what is speed of still water, speed of rowing upstream when the rowing upstream and downstream when there is flow of water in a particular stream. All right, so let us try to understand the problem. First, suppose you are rowing. I hope you understand the process of rowing. Rowing means you're going to move over water bodies, any kind of water body. So water bodies will have their own current, means there will be a speed of flow of water in the given water body. So we assume sometimes that the water is still. That means there is no flow of water. So when there is no flow of water, that means the water is standstill. And when you try to row in such a condition, your rowing will depend on your effort alone. That means you move with a definite speed depending on how much effort you make. All right. So, but nowhere it is possible that a water body is still, except if it is a well or a pond sometimes. Even there will be some disturbance in the water due to wind or breeze or whatever it is. So, we are going to now take cases of stream. Stream means a small river. So, river means the water is flowing within it. So, when you try to row on a stream of water, say I call it a river of water. In a river, the water is already flowing. It is not standstill, right? Now, there are two conditions which will come up. When you try to row upstream and row downstream. What do you mean by upstream and downstream? Upstream means you are moving against the flow of water. So, if the water is moving from left to right, you are trying to move from right to left. That is what you call upstream. Against the flow of water is called upstream. And downstream means with the flow of water. If the water is moving from left to right and you are also trying to move from left to right, such a condition will be called downstream. Is that clear? So upstream, downstream. Upstream means against the flow of water. Downstream means with the flow of water. So suppose let us assume that the speed of find the speed of rowing in still water and speed of the current. So I will assume let the speed. There are two things asked. What is that? Let the speed of rowing in still water. Be x kilometers per hour. I'll tell you exactly what you have to understand further. And the speed of, second thing asked is speed of rowing in still water and the speed of the current. The speed of the current we will take as, current means the river of the stream, as y kilometers per hour. So these are the two things which are asked to us. So that is where we will start our assumption from. So once our assumption is clear. Okay, there is one clarification which I had to give here. Don't read it as the speed of still water. Still water will not have a speed. Actually, it is the speed of rowing in still water, not of still water. I think I have written it wrong there, so you can correct it. Still water will never have a speed. That is why it is still. All right. Instead of writing speed in still water, I have written speed of still water. Please correct it. Means the speed of still water means when you're trying to row in still water, I assume that the speed with which I'm rowing is kilometers. Yes, what's happening? I'm having some disturbance. You can make your wishes privately later on. Please do not disturb a class. All right. Okay, the speed in still water is not off, sorry. The speed of the boat which you are rowing in still water, we assume it to be x kilometers per hour. And the speed of the current means the speed of the river, we have assumed as y kilometers per hour. Now the condition says two things. Ritu can row downstream 20 kilometers in 2 hours. So she is rowing downstream means she is going along the stream. That means what will be the speed with which she is rowing? Already she is rowing at x kilometers per hour. The speed of the current of the river is y. Because she is rowing downstream, she is moving along with the flow of water. So already you have a speed and there is a speed for the stream. So what will be the what will be the effective speed of the boat? The boat is going like this. Suppose this is the boat which is rowing at x kilometers. The water is moving at y kilometers per hour. Both of them are moving in the same direction. That's what you call as downstream. The boat is moving with the flow of water. So what is the actual speed of the boat now? It will be x plus y. Because the water is also trying to push the boat. Both of them are moving in the same direction. So the effective speed of the boat, which Ritu is rowing, will be x plus y. Now if she is going upstream, suppose the boat is moving in the direction opposite to that of the water. So what will be the speed of the boat then? It will be x, which is the original speed, minus the speed of the river. So x minus y will be upstream.
Ma'am, Vandana
Upstream,
wants to tell
the
something.
person is trying to move against the flow of water. This is downstream. What's the disturbance? Anything to
Ma'am,
ask me?
wants to tell something.
Vandana?
No, ma'am. X minus y. Here,
Okay,
Salwa.
immediate answer x minus y. All right, okay, good. Amrita, Vandana will speak for herself. You don't have to interfere, all right? That means the person is moving along with the flow of water. So this you must remember. If x is the speed, when the water is still, that means there is no disturbance. But such a case I told you will never happen. So if x is the original speed of the boat, the new speed of the boat when it is going downstream will be x plus y. Because the water is also pushing the boat. Both of them are moving in the same direction. So the water is pushing the boat further. So the new speed it will have will be x plus y. If the boat is moving upstream, that means against the flow of water, that means it will have a lesser speed or reduced speed. If the original speed was x, now the new speed will be x minus y because the water is not allowing it to move. It is moving in the opposite direction. So the speed will be reduced. Upstream, the speed will be reduced. Downstream, the speed will be increased. Increased and decreased by what? Increased and decreased by the speed of the river. Yes, if you have some doubt, somebody speak. Yes. No, nothing to speak? Okay. So this is what we are going to apply now. So Ritu is moving 20 kilometers in 2 hours downstream. So when she is moving downstream, her speed is this. She is moving 20 kilometers in 2 hours. So the speed of the boat when she is moving downstream is x plus y, and that will be equal to your 20 by 2. So I will write this. This figure you don't have to draw. You can write the speed upstream. Use my pen. The speed upstream. New speed of boat downstream will be x plus y. So many kilometers per hour. And speed of boat upstream will be x minus y. So many kilometers per hour. Alright, so these are the two new speeds upstream and downstream. Once you have found that, now what is given? Ritu is moving 20 kilometers in 2 hours upstream. So what is the formula for speed? Speed equals distance by time. This you know, all of you know speed is equal to distance by time. So the distance she has moved is 20 and that is covered in 2 hours. So the speed is 20 by 2. So the first condition which is given is the speed downstream. Ritu is rowing downstream 20 kilometers in 2 hours. So this is the speed. So the first condition says x plus y will be equal to 20 by 2. Did you understand this equation that I am trying to write? The speed is already given to me because the distance and time is known. And I know the speed of the boat downstream is x plus y because x is the original speed of the boat and y is the speed of the water which is flowing in the stream. So my first condition says the speed up downstream is x plus y which is equal to 20 by 2. And the second condition will give me, what is the second condition? Now she is going upstream. And what is the distance she is covering? And upstream she covers 4 kilometers in 2 hours. So the second condition will be x minus y equals 4 by 2. You understand? There are two ways where you will connect this. Sorry. The first condition says the speed downstream is distance by time, 20 by 2. Speed upstream, downstream, we have already seen x plus y. Speed upstream is x minus y, and that is given as distance by time, because 4 kilometers she is traveling upstream in 2 hours. So 4 by 2. So I got my two equations now. X plus y is 10. This is my first equation, and x minus y equals 2 is my second equation. So I got two equations in two variables. I should solve them to get the values of x and y. X and y only is asked me what is the original speed of the boat in still water and what is the speed of the current, which is 1. So solve these two equations, at least the solution you should be able to do it on your own. I don't have to go and struggle doing it. Two equations are ready. You can either use the elimination method or the substitution method. Anything is okay. Whichever you feel is easy. Quickly do it. I can see that the elimination is easy because I have positive y and negative y. So adding my equations 1 and 2. So adding equations 1 and 2. That is x plus y is equal to 10 and x minus y equals 2. So it becomes 2x or x is 6 kilometers per hour. 12 by 2. And then you can go back, substituting x equals x equals 6 in equation 1. So I go to equation 1, which is 6 plus y equals 10, or my y equals 4 kilometers. So this is how you get the values of x and y. Alright, you eliminate the y from both the equations by adding them. Then once you get the x, go back to equation 1 and get the value of y. So, yeah, I think I'll stop the video here because it is a 35-minute video where I have discussed two more problems where again the equations will have the variables in the denominator. So you have to convert them into ordinary equations and solve them also. So I will share the link of that video also along with this recording which I'm doing now. Is that clear? So I think I'll stop recording, but please stay on the meet. Let me generate that sentence and get back to you.